What's up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh1.
the cute one.
I was yawning.
That's how cute he is. And we're back at it again to answer your questions in another installment of For the Greater.
So this is a video series where we answer the questions left by you guys. We know so much about the lore of Warhammer 40K that you guys ask us a bunch of questions like, what's your favorite pizza? Because that has everything to do with Warhammer 40K. So if you guys want to ask us a question, simply put question in front of your question and we'll answer it next week. Do that in the comment section below. This question comes from Maria Moreno, and she says, do you think Guilliman should destroy the church?
No, I do not think he should destroy the church at all. Because whether we like it or not, the church is actually holding together the Imperium. The church is basically saying the Emperor is a god, you should praise him or he will smite you. And that fear is what's helping, all the worlds stay in line, stay on check.
That's a good point. But I really do think Guilliman should destroy the idea of worshipping the God Emperor. Simply on the basis that without the God Emperor, or the idea that the Emperor is a god, then humanity has to work that much harder in order to succeed in life. You can't just say, oh, the Emperor protects, because the Emperor ain't shit, boy. That's why we should push towards eliminating our religion on Earth. I mean, getting rid of the Ecclesiarchy, and all the horribleness that is, all that stuff.
Yeah, because that's not what the Emperor wanted at the end of the day. He wanted to remain, have nothing to do, separation of state and church.
Basically.
Yeah, because he ended up screwing over the word bearers because of that. So,
what do you guys think? Do you think that trying to destroy the Ecclesiarchy would just bring about another civil war that would rage for years and years or years, and 50K would be more of a civil war? Or do you think that, yes, Guilliman should destroy the church?
Let us know down below.
Next question.
This one is by RD. Are there any famous couples in Warhammer 40K?
There sure is.
You got Kim and Kanye.
Yep. You got Jay-Z and Beyonce. You have
Bonnie and Clyde, Sonny and Cher, Gershon the Sound Alchemist.
Yes. So there you go.
There's a bunch of couples, man.
Actually, no. I can't think of any couples from Warhammer 40K. Can you?
No, they don't really talk about like marriage or dating or boyfriend, girlfriend.
But not even like...
The only couple would be Gork and Mork.
Yeah, but they're not... Yeah, like there's brotherhoods, there's units, like the Tanith First and Only.
Yeah, sisterhoods, what's it called?
Traveling pants.
There you go.
But yeah, no, nothing in terms of couples. Somebody needs to write some awesome fanfics, because you could be real cool about it too. Like some Bonnie and Clyde type shit.
Yeah.
Rogue Trader, that shit. Torlanus, seeing how the Tau entered, or seeing how the Tau can't enter the warp. What do you think about the Tau using a similar method of space travel as the Tyranids? They have had to deal with them in the past. It will let them spread out faster, and such technology might even get the attention of other races. After all, both humans and Eldar aren't thrilled about traveling through the warp. So the Tau can't travel like the Tyranids. What the Tyranids do is they have this ship called a narwhal.
Yeah, like the whale.
And they shoot it out, and then they kind of like bend space and time, and then they come forth. But they're doing that through the shadow of the warp and the powers within the Tyranid hive mind itself. And the Tau don't have the Tyranid hive mind, they just have brainwashing.
Yeah. So all the brainwashing technology won't be able to get you as close to a Tyranid form of transportation.
Exactly. What they can do, though, is what the Imperium did during the Age of Strife. Or no, sorry, during the Dark Age of Technology. Which is, they found these ancient these ancient Xenos devices that acted as like docks, where you can... They're teleportation devices, basically. And it created wormholes, not through the warp, but through space and time. But that was destroyed during the whole Age of Strife. But if the Tau could somehow develop that, since another race, the old ones have already, well, it might be the old ones, it might not be, but since that technology has been created somewhere at some point, then yeah, they could use it.
Possibilities, man, they exist.
They exist. The truth is out there. I don't think that's the theme song.
I don't think so either.
Alright, your turn.
This is Lug. If the Emperor somehow wakes up and sees the actual Imperium for which it is, what do you think his first words would be? Fuck! I forgot to turn off the water when I was washing my hands. That water bill is going to be through the roof, man.
Yeah, I agree. That's what he would say.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll be mad because of the Ecclesiarchy, the failure to protect the Imperium the way it was supposed to.
He lost all his sons.
Yep, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
C.A. Redneck. What do you think Guilliman is creating for his Indomitus Crusade? Do you think they're just Space Marines, for lack of a better word, or something entirely different? I think it's something entirely different. It is like we've said before, Proto
Primarchs.
There you go.
Basically a stronger version of Chapter Masters, similar to a Primarch. But what I think is that they're just the next generation of Space Marine. Basically a form of Custodes. They're going to be like on that level. Fan9775. How did you guys come up with your names?
It's a good question. So I came up, or my name was given to me by the Sound Alchemist back when we were little.
We were little chitlins.
He was eating Gushers while watching Usher, and he combined the two things together, and it became Gersh.
That was Gersher at first.
I dropped the ER once I got old enough.
Because he ain't never go to the hospital.
Mm-hmm. And then you got your name because your YouTube channel.
I had a YouTube channel that I never used, and I was like, I'm gonna go with this name. And I just stopped.
Because he used to spit that fire. That's where the sound comes from, and the alchemist comes from. Full Metal Alchemist. Next question. I have one from Chris Sanchez.
Whoa.
He says, I was curious to know if the Emperor of Mankind had any romantic relationships, or could he not, since it is possible that, like his sons, the Astartes, he is castrated. So the story back in the day was that, yes, he has multiple sons. They're called Sensei.
There you go.
And what the Inquisition was doing was taking them and sacrificing them in order to resurrect the Emperor. But as of right now, in the canon, no, he did not have any children.
Yeah. But you know, he's been alive for so long, he's got to have a few dime pieces. I mean, at least to make $1.
If you want to learn more, check out our 40 facts on the Illuminati. That explains it. It's not a joke. Your turn.
This one's by George Pantoja. Now, he's been commenting this everywhere, so here it is, guys. We're finally answering your question. Do you think that Kirby can survive in 40K? I mean, he can eat anything and gain their powers from it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is the Tyranid hive mind.
Basically, everything stems from Kirby.
Yes.
But yeah, actually, that's kind of scary. I mean, he could just eat whatever and then take those abilities. What if he eats the Emperor? What if?
El Colt. Do you believe that the life of the civilian in the Farsight Enclaves would be different to a regular Tau without the influence of the Ethereals? And if yes, what other differences do you think that Farsight society has with the regular Tau? I think so. I think the Tau society for the Farsight Enclaves is very militaristic to the point where it's like any rebellion, where you always have to be on the lookout, not only for your enemies, but for your old friends.
Yeah. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, especially when dogs are Tau.
Yeah. Next question.
This one's James Brown. He feels good. I gotta stop. Do you pre or post assembly your miniatures when you paint them?
Both.
It's been a long time since I've assembled or painted any miniatures, so I would always build them then paint them. Because I feel like that gives me more incentive. Because it's like, it's a done figure, but it's just gray. I'm like, slap some paint on it.
Yep. I really like, so like if I'm gonna do like specialist unit, I'd like to
take your time, get all the nooks and crannies.
Right. But if it's just like your Marines, then just build them and paint them later. Callum Crosby. Are individual Daemon Primarchs, like Lorgar, more powerful than specific Chaos God Primarchs like Angron or Fulgrim, due to them being demons of undivided, therefore all of Chaos, and not a specific god? Yes.
Well, I don't think so. I feel like if you're more specific, you're stronger.
No, but he's saying, do you think that, Oh, Angron did... Oh, wait, hold on. I misunderstood then. So, are you more stronger if you're undivided. Or... Okay.
Right, because if you're undivided, the concept is they're all feeding into you.
Okay, yeah. I understand, yeah. And you said...
No, because if you're specifically attuned to one, you're going to be really powerful in that one aspect. Where if everything's feeding into you, you're kind of okay all around.
Yep. Okay, yeah, I understand. Yep.
It's in the same as all these like video games, like where you have a skill tree. If you're all in close combat, you're gonna suck at shooting. But if you give yourself a nice base, you're gonna be okay in everything.
Yep. Here you go. I agree.
This next one's by King 231190. When do Imperial Guard get rest and relaxation?
As often
when
as
they
they
die.
can.
Yeah, I actually pretty much as often as they can. They're not always in war, so they've gotta, sometimes it takes a long ass time to get from one part of the galaxy to the other. And yeah, you got your training and your drills, but it's all spaced out the same way as it would be in the military now. I mean, you wake up at a certain time, you eat at a certain time, you rest for a certain time, so.
Yep.
It's not always grueling hard work, guys.
Giovanni Martinez. Why doesn't the Imperium use Eldar Psykers to power the Golden Throne, seeing that they are vastly superior to human Psykers? So they can't do that because Eldar Psykers could sabotage the Golden Throne. When they say sacrifice the Golden Throne, or when they say Psykers are being sacrificed to the Golden Throne, that means that the Psykers are using all their power to like manipulate the Golden Throne to the point of exhaustion and death. Mm-hmm. Not just like they show up, you kill them, and then... Yeah. No.
Anyway, if you do kill an Eldar like that, most likely Sinesh is gonna like pick up their souls and eat them before they get to the Emperor.
Like spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
Eric Grajeda. How many armies do people usually collect? And what are the views on letting other people use your army?
Well, I have 1, 2, 3.
I have 1, 2, 3 as well.
Yeah. And would I let somebody else? Yeah, I've let people play my army.
Yeah. You gotta share, because sharing is caring. But honestly, if it's like somebody you've never met and they're using your army, I'd feel a little hesitant, because it's like, what if they break my models? What if they get pissed and flip the table over? Yeah.
And don't like give them your army. They leave. When we share, we're all in the same room and we bring the boxes and exchange boxes. But then at the end of the day, I just take the boxes back.
Right.
Don't get your stuff stolen, kids. Next question comes from Keith Parrish. Keith. Do you think that the Emperor is real and that the people are giving us the lore, and the people giving us the lore are actually Psykers, and the lore is actually the information on what is to come, a message for the grim future? No. They just want your money.
Yeah, because it's all about the money.
Money. Next question.
Nelith 80. What would happen if every Necron tomb world woke up at the exact same time? Would they have the power to take over the galaxy? Or do you think that the universe or a certain race can stop them?
So, as the lore stands today, a Necron tomb world takes a very long while to actually, like...
activate.
Yeah. So if they all came on right now, it would take them a bit. Mm-hmm. The Imperium would realize of the threat because it would be more apparent. And I wouldn't say, like, that the Imperium would succeed in destroying the Necrons, but I think they would develop a very strong defensive because now they know.
Right. Necrons are scary. They're already a big threat, and like not even a tenth of them are awake or awoken, I think. So if they all woke up, yeah, it's gonna be a disastrous time for the galaxy. it would definitely mean all these races would have to work together to take them. Because I don't think the Space Marines alone can handle the whole Necron race as a whole.
Next question. I have one from Ethan Warner. If you could add another species for the Tau to conquer, what would they be called? And what would they be like? And what would they specialize in?
Say that again.
So if you had to choose another species for the Tau to conquer.
Oh, okay. This is an easy one. It would have to be a psychic race. They would have to be weak psychers that the Tau can actually sacrifice or do experiments on, so that they could get something akin to a psyker into their fire warriors. Not something that they would, ally with, but something that they can take into their folds and kind of farm them, since the ethereals are supposed to be the sneaky ones. So they'll do this on the inside, but on the outside it's like, oh, we love this race. Come join us.
Pretty cool. Zach Berry. Now that Guilliman has returned, do you think that he will eventually take back the place as the High Lord of Terra? Or in the High Lords of Terra? No, he's actually doing the Indomitus Crusade.
Yeah.
So he's taking...
new Space Marines or whatever they are.
Like a War Master type of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Jim Boyles. Who would win? A Predator or a Space Marine?
Space Marine?
Yeah, easily a Space Marine. A Predator or a Commissar?
Predator.
Well, if the Commissar is Chris Hansen, then he'll easily catch that Predator. But yeah, I have to give it to the Commissar. And a Guardsman or Plants?
Plants.
Right. I mean, if Plants can take on zombies, they can do Guardsmen easily.
Yep. Stealthy Hunter. How often do Space Marine chapters butt heads with the Inquisition? And who was to the Space Marine chapter the most tolerable Inquisitor? So how often do they butt heads? Fairly often.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stories of them butting heads. Which Inquisitor is the most tolerable?
They're all pretty strict, as far as I know.
And they're all very buddy, especially with the Grey Knights.
Right. Yeah.
So I can't really name an Inquisitor off the top. I guess Malcador the Searchlight.
Eisenhorn. Maybe. This next one is by Marcus Garrison. What do races like Tau and Orcs eat? Food. Actually, some Orcs eat other Orcs. Or Gretchen or Squigs. Tau, they've got their military rations and whatnot. So.
Yep. Sergeant Spilf. Do you think there's a realistic possibility of something being able to heal the Emperor without dying first? No.
If there was, they probably would have found it by now.
Yep.
Ethan Warner, what's your favorite type of ice cream and pizza? Ice cream, definitely anything strawberry related.
Like mint.
You like mint?
I love mint. I love brushing my teeth.
Favorite pizza? I'd say thin crust supreme.
I would say double dough, bacon, and just bacon.
Okay.
Alexander Schneider. With the YouTube apocalypse going on, did your channel get affected in any way? I don't think our YouTube channel got affected by the YouTube apocalypse.
It was mostly the bigger, like the PewDiePies and all that.
Yeah, and our content isn't even bad at all.
Right, because it's if you talk about fighting, well, I mean, 40K is fucking a war game, but it's not bad, I guess.
I don't think there's anything that triggers them to believe that we're doing anything or we're saying anything that's derogatory, because when we talk about stuff, it's not even in this universe.
Right, it's all fantasy.
Yep.
That's why, because everybody was doing all these beef videos, and that's when YouTube was like, hey, we gotta stop the negativity and all that, so.
Yes.
Because the only beef we got is beef against Horus.
Jim Boyles.
Stop me, guys.
Who would win a... Oh, you already said that. So, do you have another one?
Jim Boyles, who would win? Yeah. Sergeant Spliff, do you think there's a realistic possibility of someone, we did that one as well, healing the Emperor?
Corbin Gabriel, if you could pick a race to be in 40K, who would it be? Like, if you guys were just an average Joe kind of guy. So an average Joe for a Tyranid is the Tyranid hive mind. So maybe I'll be them. No, I'm just kidding. An orc. I would like being an orc. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd be a Tau.
Obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Next question from All Might. What do you think Guilliman's Supermarines are? We already answered that.
We've answered that in like every, so far, greater good. How
often does a Tau suck at the game? I'm just kidding.
Pretty often.
I just made that up.
Cert. How often does an orc suck? All the time.
Oh yeah, they suck a lot.
Their mouths are made for sucking.
Yep, they just bags of.
Bags of air. Go ahead.
Dragon Punch 903. What kind of chaos fueled orc would you play if they were a faction? That's a really good question.
I like that one.
Who would you play?
I would definitely want to do some corn orcs, because I feel like they'd be the most brutal orc. They'd probably be huge, black. Because isn't it the darker they get, the older they get,
yep.
And they'd have like horns. They basically be demons. Yeah, demon orcs, and that'd be scary.
I would do Zinch controlled orcs, because it would be like a bunch of warp heads and weird boys, just like mobs of them. Like none of them would walk; they would all float through like electrical segways.
I'm thinking about Slaneshi orcs, and that's something I don't want to see. I can just imagine them with like wigs on and like lipstick.
And those were questions for this week. Thank you guys so much for sending them our way. If you guys have more questions, please comment down below. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, don't forget to hit us up on Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. As always, guys, I'm the Sound Alchemist.
Gersh1.
We are One Mind Syndicate, and we are out of here.
Come on, man. And with the local DB